Hey guys, back with another kind of vlog style video. It's not going to be a vlog style video like the last one was. It's more a talking point. But the talking point for this video is mostly going to be my advice to newer car enthusiasts, whether you be 12 or shit, even 16. I mean, from one person who's relatively new to the car community to another. First point, I mean, if you're a younger kid, or even if you're in your mid to late teens, cars are expensive. That's what drives a lot of people away from their car enthusiasm. Is, like, for example, best example I can come up with. When I was 15 or 16, my favorite car in the world, I think at the time, was a Nissan S13. Not the American version, the Japanese version. And when I looked into getting one, or when I looked into asking my dad for a car, which I never did get one anyways. I didn't get a car until I actually worked my ass off to get it. But anyway, when I was looking around for cars, when I was around turning 16, 17, and I was looking at an S13, I didn't even ask because they're expensive. Especially if you like sports cars, if you like cars that are like, what's the best way to put this? If you like cars that are like Ford Focuses and stuff like that, which you can make Ford Focuses pretty cool. But if you want like a Ford Focus or something, that's not attainable. But this is for the newer car enthusiasts out there. I mean, I'm sorry about that light. Hold on. Okay, that's a little better. This is mostly to newer car enthusiasts. Because I know with newer car enthusiasts, you're going to want like a Subaru WRX or like a BMW M3 or something like that. They're expensive. And chances are you're not going to get that expensive sports car you wanted when you turn 16, if you're not already 16. As soon as you get your license or whatever, you're not going to get a car. You're not, okay, let's be fair here. 8 times out of 10, you're not going to get the car you want. That's just plain and simple how this works. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get the car you want. And newer people who have been in the car scene a little while will know this. But when you're 12, 13, 14, 15, like I'm just going to give a broad example, and I said this example in like the last vlog style video I made, which frankly enough are being made in the same day. But I'm going to use the same kind of, what's the word for that? I'm going to use the same example of, if you're 12 years old and your favorite car is a Skyline GTR, gonna give her a little bit of a rev right quick, but if your favorite car is a Nissan GTR and you're like 12 or 13, there's a really good chance that when you turn 16, I mean, as sad as it is, a lot of people turn away from their car enthusiasm when they get their license and can't get the car they want. Like going back to the example I was making, a 13, 14, 15-year-old who is absolutely in love with a Skyline GTR, 9 times out of 10 will not get that Skyline GTR, and 6 times out of 10 will just stop liking cars because of the realization that they can't afford the ones that they want. And I mean, it happens. I have been in that spot quite a few times. I'm still arguably in that spot. Like there are plenty of cars that I would love to have that I just cannot afford. And that makes me very, that gets me down a lot. Like that upsets me to no end. But for this first entry, it's just don't expect too much. If you have your license now, it's going to be a while before you get a nice, flashy, expensive sports car. And if you don't have your license yet and you're like a young kid, don't expect too much, buddy. I would love for you to stay in the car community, and I'm not trying to dissuade you in any way, but 9 times out of 10 you're gonna have to settle for something else that isn't the car you want. So next entry, I'm sorry, I'm kind of thinking of these off the top of my head, but next entry, go to car meets. I mean, go to as many car meets as you can and meet as many people as you can. I mean, even looking at me, I feel like I've been in the car community for a decent amount of time. I've been really, really into cars for about 5 years now. I've only actually ever gone to like 3 or 4 meets. One of my biggest recommendations to you is to go to as many meets as physically possible and meet as many people as you can. Whether that be by joining a car club or just meeting people around your area at the meet. Just go to as many as you can. That's going to be the second entry. I can't really think of many other ways to put it. I mean, I don't have enough experience in going to car meets to be able to put much else there. As for a third entry, we're going to do 5 entries. As for a third entry, learn to wrench on your own car. I know if you've watched a number of other new car guy videos or whatever, I know this is going to sound repetitive, but learn to wrench on your own car. Learn to fix the simple things on your own car. Thankfully, I never had the issue. I never had the issue of taking my car to a shop every time there was something wrong with it, because normally, I mean, off the top of my head, any normal problem that could be wrong with a car, I can personally fix. But that came from me having the determination to learn how to do it. Like, I'm not expecting you to know how to change out an engine or a transmission, because I can't do that. I'm not going to expect anybody to do anything that I can't do. And even then, I've been around a while. At least car maintenance talking. I don't expect everybody to know how to fix everything that I know how to fix. I know there's plenty of people that don't know how to fix stuff, and that's okay. I mean, you very well can, if you have enough money, take your car to the shop for everything that's wrong with it. But I would highly, highly recommend learning how to wrench on your own vehicle. Like, for example, I'm sorry about that. But for example, my car had an oil leak. I got it fixed 2 or 3 days ago. It was a valve cover gasket. So essentially what it was doing is oil was seeping out of the valve cover, because the valve cover gasket was 20 years old and it basically turned into plastic. Yes, it does happen. With cars that are that old, it does happen. But even if you don't know how to fix stuff, I mean, as long as you can figure out the problem, replacing stuff ain't that bad. Obviously, I'm not trying to put expectations on anybody, but I had never changed a valve cover gasket before. I took the valve cover off, replaced the gasket. Granted, it did take me a couple tries to get it to seal properly, but it did get done. So, I mean, when you're looking to learn how to wrench on cars, just don't give up. And I highly recommend trying to find somebody who has worked on vehicles before. The only reason I know as much as I do is because I took the lessons that I had been taught from people who know how to work on cars. The biggest person who taught me most of what I know is one of my grandpa's best friends, one of my best friend's dad. I went and worked with him for a couple weeks for $20 a day. We worked for like 6 hours a day or something. 6-7 hours a day. I worked for him for $20 a day. I helped him work on his customers' vehicles. I learned so much, and I cannot thank him enough for all that he has taught me and the confidence he has given me to work on vehicles. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a professional mechanic or that I work at a shop or anything, because I don't. At least not a car shop anyways. But just find out how to fix the simple things. It'll get you way farther than you might think. You don't even have to figure it out for every car. Just figure it out for your specific car and you're good to go. That was the third entry. Fourth entry, find a car and stick with it. Buying new cars every 2 or 3 years just is not financially a great decision. You'll wind up putting yourself in debt, and then back to that money discussion we were having at the beginning of this video, you'll probably stop being a car guy because of how much debt it put you into if you're switching cars every couple of years and buying a new one. Which, if you're buying cars that are like $2 or $3 grand, $4 grand a piece and rebuilding them, I can get behind that. That's fine. But going out every couple of years and spending $20,000 on a new sports car or something, not the way to go, brother. It just is not the way you should go about it. So find a car that you like and stick with it. If you wind up not liking it, find a car of a similar price if you got it from a dealership and try to trade it in maybe if you really hate the car. The thing I've found about cars though is that no matter how much you dislike it, there will be a way that you can make yourself like it. There will always be an application to enjoy the car that you're in. And this video is kind of dragging out, so as for the last entry, as for the last entry, save your money. The only real gate to the car community, even it's not really a very high gate, But the only real speed bump into the car community is money. I mean, save as much as you can. You're gonna have to cut corners if you're trying to be a full-fledged car enthusiast. I'm not saying that I am one, mind you, but if you plan on being a fully fledged car enthusiast and maybe even making videos and stuff about it, you have to save money. You have to cut some corners somewhere. Like, here's a good example. To the people who buy phones every year, if you're trying to be a car enthusiast and you're buying phones every year, just save that money, bro. That $1,000 that you spend on that new phone every year, however much it is that you're spending on a new phone almost every year, save it. If you do that 10, 15 times, it adds up quite a bit. If you save, alright, so take it, okay, so example. If I make, this isn't actually how much I make, but and a little economic example, a little financial example. If I made $1,500 every 2 weeks, so that's $3,000 a month, I would try to save at least $500 of it a month if possible. I understand that some people can't possibly save that much because of certain circumstances, but I'll just say like I went over in the vlog video that I recorded, this may or may not come out first, so I'll say it again. I need to fix my money management because in the situation I'm at, I can pretty comfortably save $250 a month. That's $500 a month. Okay, that's $500 a month. $250 a paycheck. $500 a month. $500 a month. If you save that for a year, $6,000. Okay, you might not think $6,000 is much, but $6,000 will get you. I mean, $6,000 will get you pretty far in the car community if you know what you're doing. Obviously, you might not buy a brand new cool sports car with it, which $6,000, if you're going for like a Subaru BRZ or something, will get you a nice down payment. But if you're going after modding your car, $6,000 is quite a fucking bit. Excuse my language. But it is not a small amount. And if you do that for 2 years, boom, $12,000. $12,000 can start affording you, if you like JDM imports, you can start buying them. You can buy older M3s, some older Porsches maybe. If you're into Euro, if you're into American muscle, $12,000 will get you into a C5 Corvette. It'll get you into a newer Mustang EcoBoost or an older GT. $12,000 from just saving $250 a paycheck for 2 years is not that bad. It adds up quite a bit, though you might not believe it. And I'm gonna leave this video on that note. Just save your money. Don't spend your money where it doesn't need to be spent. And I'm gonna sign off. I wish everybody who watched this video the best of luck. Contact me if you want to talk about some more things. I'm always here. And that's going to be the end of this video. I'll see you guys later.